Thank you very much, everyone. In our next session, we're going to be talking about the metaverse, crypto, and NFTs. From the dot-com boom of the 90s that built an internet of data, to the rise of social with the internet of people in the 2000s, and the internet of things in the 2010s, the metaverse signals the next wave of digital transformation and the internet of place, shared virtual experiences, an internet of ownership, verifiable digital identities. And with that, I would like to welcome our panel for the next discussion. Carl Asquith, the CEO from Like Digital Partners. Roel Vos, partner at Skyne. John Sanai, if I can please invite you back onto the stage to join us for the discussion. Susan Furness, Web3 strategist and Metaverse shaper. And Mo Farmani, the founder of Decentra BNB. Early adapters and the change in behavior. And I'm saying this here, I'm still sitting with my old-fashioned printed notes instead of having everything in digital. But that is my comfort zone, and I need to leave that comfort zone. When we talk about early adoption in the hospitality and travel tourism sector, we're very creative when it comes to what the customer wants and what the customer is looking for. But at times, we're also very slow on jumping onto the bandwagon. One of the items that we have seen over the years is with ESG or with total hotel revenue optimization, topics that we have been talking about, but we still struggle on implementing. And this leads us to this discussion here now, is how can we shape the future? And is the metaverse, NFTs, and the cryptocurrency, is it here to stay? Is it a hype? And how can we really leverage it for our business? So with that, Mo, if we can maybe talk. Mo and I, we met during the crypto conference here in Dubai. Yeah. And if you have noticed, the crypto conference is happening twice a year, and it got me curious. And from when I'm looking into the metaverse, crypto, and NFTs, then I came past Decentra BNB. Yeah. You might have seen the taxis that are driving around Dubai at the moment with the pink Decentra BNB advertising. So Mo, why don't you tell us a bit about what your company does and how hotels are able to leverage if they work with you?
Thank you for having me here today. My name is Mo. I'm the founder of Decentra BNB. Actually, Decentra BNB is the application that allows users to book a reservation, which is a hotel or a house, to pay by cryptocurrencies and rent the place, whether the major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT, or our native token, which is DBNB. And our application is allowing hosts, which we call them house owners or hosts, or the hotel owners to list their house inside our application and allow our travelers to book that place by cryptocurrencies, major cryptocurrencies or our own token. And by doing this, we are trying to make traveling for our travelers more cheaper, because we are only charging 3% for our hosts or our hotels to get the commission. And if they are using our native token, actually there is no commission involved in this process. And there is a lot of information. Should I completely say? Yep. All right. Perfect. Decentra BNB actually came by the idea of decentralization. What I mean is that our new world is going to be decentralized. Every data is going to be a decentralized ledger. As a cryptocurrency's main vision was to be decentralization of our financial system. So we are using the mobile application to make it happen for our tourism industry, and our hospitality industry that need to be targeted for crypto users, because we can't stop crypto from people, because everyone wants to be more financial freedom. They want to have more financial freedom. And right now, as we can see, there are 100,000 of crypto millionaires that they're out there, and most of them are young generation like me, that we are loving to have crypto payments as a system gateway payment that we can use for our expenses, right? So we came up with the Decentral BNB ideas that will help hotels to provide their rooms to our travelers in a cheaper way, which is only 3% of charge. And I think by comparing to other booking platforms, which they are charging for 15 to 25%, we are much cheaper. And by that, we are giving the rooms cheaper to our travelers. And the other thing is we are working is a smart contract of Ethereum that will allow to connect the host to travelers by the smart contract of Ethereum, where there is no one involved in the payment system, and the community of our application will decide, and we are having a governance token for that, that they can provide a proposal, and they can decide how to manage the mobile application. If I want to give you an example, is that imagine Instagram, they have millions of users, right? But the only owner of the Instagram is deciding for the platform. They decide what to share or what not to share. But by decentralization, we are allowing the Instagram users to decide what content they are willing to share on the platform or not. This is the beauty of decentralization of the crypto world. And that's it for now. If there is a question, I'm happy to answer.
No, very interesting. I would like to tap into two things.
All right.
The crypto millionaires, which is a younger generation.
Yeah.
And then the payment solutions. So the crypto millionaires, do you see this as an untapped market for the existing hotel sector?
Yeah.
Because not many hotels have payment available in crypto. I think we have some from minor hotels in the audience, and J Resorts, they're talking about making crypto payments available. But maybe for the rest of the audience, so if I'm making my hotel available on Decentral BNB, how do I get paid? And how do I make sure, because then, if my head of finance is going to challenge me and says, well, Bitcoin has devalued by 75% over the last 12 months, how do we make sure that we don't have that risk as a business?
All right. Firstly, I will answer your first question, which is about the crypto millionaires. Within the crypto market, reported that there is 100,000 of crypto millionaires by now, and most of them, they are young generation. The crypto investors, they want to have fun, they want to travel, they want to have enjoy, they want to have no stress in their life, and they are spending crypto for this kind of services. And I believe the hospitality industry should target this market, because this is an amazing market, especially in Dubai, where there is no tax, and they are moving, the crypto investors, they are moving to Dubai for the 0% tax. And for the volatility of the cryptocurrencies prices, which we are having, especially right now in the bear market, we find a solution that it's how it's going to work. In our application, the users are paying cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT. We immediately, our platform automatically will exchange it to Tether, which is the stable coin, which is backed by the US dollar, so there is no any volatility of the cryptocurrencies. And our hotels or our the house owners are able to withdraw the money through our major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, or they can withdraw by US dollar or also euro to their bank account. So by doing this, they shouldn't be worried about the volatility of the cryptocurrency, because whatever the guest is paying is converting to USDT, which is stable. So there is no any risk for hotels or house owners to rent their places to our platform. Yeah. So we fixed that, I think, so well by that.
Yeah, no, excellent, very good. And I guess that also shows why Google has announced that it's accepting Bitcoin now for payment solution, or Starbucks and other high-end companies are using that. So if we're looking at NFTs, your company focuses on the NFT creation. And there is the Viceroy in Los Cabos in Mexico that has launched a digital art and dinner club and is using NFTs for the repeat customers to have that consumer engagement, to set themselves apart from the competition and to engage with the customer in a different way. Can you talk to us about a bit on how you help companies create the NFTs and what they can actually do with that?
Of course. So my name is Roel. I'm a partner at Skyne NFT. With Skyne NFT, we basically use blockchain technology and NFTs to come up with new models of customer engagement, new experiences, new revenue models, but also to improve processes. And I think maybe for the audience it's also good to explain what an NFT is. So is there anybody here who owns a non-fungible token? Okay, so I only see 4 or 5 hands. So it may be good to explain what it is. Non-fungible basically means that you have a unique asset that is not interchangeable for something else with the same value. So if you look at the real world, a very good example is a passport. I cannot take John's passport and travel to South Africa today, or the other way around. Now, when you speak about a non-fungible token, it means that it is a unique digital asset that is registered and verified on the blockchain. Now, some examples that you have could be digital art, that could be a digital ticket to go to the World Cup. But especially in hospitality now, you see opportunities for new models focusing on experiences, engagement. Think about a loyalty program. A very nice example that is out there in hospitality is that you can create an exclusive membership club using non-fungible tokens and blockchain, where you offer your guests special advantages that other people cannot get. It could be, for instance, if you look at the customer journey of a hotel, to get early check-in if you own the NFT, or a late checkout, or access to exclusive events or exclusive advantages for the person who books at your hotel. So there are some examples for the hospitality industry, how they can make use of these non-fungible tokens.
Yeah, okay, very good. Anything you would like to add, Susan?
Well, I actually really do like NFTs, non-fungible tokens. I feel that they've got a real excitement level that we in the hospitality industry can take advantage of. And actually, John, it goes right back to your keynote, and indeed some of other of you this morning, talking about community. One of you, I think, had from trends to tribes. I really feel the fact that as children, we love collecting, don't we? You know, we like to collect marbles or those little cards, and then we grow up a bit and we connect dolls or ninjas or Barbies, and then we become adults and we love art and, you know, an Escada suit and whatever, and the ties. I mean, you guys love ties. We have this natural penchant for collecting. And so therefore, I feel in that quest to build community and indeed belonging that I heard mentioned very much this morning, and with you, John, that if we broke, first of all, the word community down, Judith, into common unity, community, and indeed if common unity or community was for a common purpose, staying in your DB&B, that if we had an NFT or a collection opportunity that we could all be part of, knowing that, like a piece of art, there's the original, but I got print 999, that we're getting the belonging. And again, as the wordsmith in me would do, take the word belonging and break it down to be long in. Isn't that what we're looking for from our loyalty and rewards? But do we really do that, industry? You know, in the world we're in at the minute, do we really create an award system, a loyalty system, a community that is for the common purpose of the community? And as we heard, that value can come from community and experience right into revenue. So it's another way of ebb and flow of creating the revenues that we're all after, but for common purpose and common good. So I support NFTs. Thank you.
Very good.
So I think then NFTs as amenities instead of the fruit basket and the bottle of water might be the next thing to go.
Ah, yeah.
So John, you were talking about the today's team and tomorrow's team. And a lot of times the general manager or the CEO of a company says to the today team, create me an event in the metaverse, create me an NFT for the collection. Emirates, they have just now transformed the pavilion on the expo area into their innovation hub because they want to jump onto the bandwagon on having branded NFTs as collectibles. So what's your advice as a futurist for companies to set their teams up for success?
I think it was really obvious that maybe people in the room aren't very comfortable with Metaverse and NFT when 4 people put their hand up of who owns an NFT and 3 of them were up on stage. And that gets us to understand that the world is very much linked into the industrial era of economies of scale and bringing profitability into incremental innovation in our existing businesses. And often what starts to happen when discussions like this start to happen with people that are in the game, that have to keep the lights on, it's a very difficult thing to want to adopt. And this wasn't part of this keynote, but I have a full keynote that talks about the need for us to develop today and tomorrow teams. Today teams to be able to keep the innovation going and to make things better, but a tomorrow team that has totally different skill sets, totally different capabilities, different KPIs, and sometimes even sits in a totally different office. The most famous tomorrow team that many of us here have been part of is Steve Jobs. When he came back to Apple, there was the Lisa computer. He hated it. So he took his top engineers and hired some new engineers, took them to an office away from Apple, put a pirate flag on top of that office, and they created the Macintosh that many of us use today that disrupted the Lisa and then took back his engineers and developed the Macintosh. And so I think it's important that if you are feeling confused or feeling that it's really nothing to do with you because you're busy with quarterly reports and profits, that you need to develop a tomorrow team. A team that sits away from your current team so your current team's immunity doesn't kill theirs and their creativity, and develop this tomorrow team with AI, data, crypto, and blockchain specialists at the heart of it, and let them develop it in parallel to your business so that you are not feeling schizophrenic of having to do both. And if any manager ever tells you, or if you are saying to anybody, think out the box, stop it. And the reason is that when you ask somebody to think out the box, you're asking them to stop being themselves, stop being their careers, their education, all the experience they have, to develop a system and a business that's going to disrupt their current one. What a ridiculous notion. It might have worked in 1986, but it doesn't work in 2022 anymore. And so that's why there needs to be a tomorrow team and a today team, so that everybody has got one clear focus. I'm doing innovation and incremental improvement on my current business, and then I'm thinking about things in out-the-box format with new capabilities.
Amazing, thank you. And
Thank you.
When John and I connected for the first time, as a keynote and then also for this panel, then you were talking to me very high level on today's team and tomorrow's team from the Museum of the Future. After an event from there, I mean, that just tells you, on how innovative things can be. So Carl, your company focuses on the internet. Maybe talk to us a bit about Web3 and Web 2. So Web 2, where are we today? What do companies have to bear in mind if they want to enter the metaverse? And if I'm being tasked with, let's do an event in the metaverse, where would I start?
It's a very good question, and I obviously get asked this quite a lot, maybe the second time today, actually. But I think, just to kind of echo what John said, because this kind of ties in there with things, I'm the CEO of Light Digital Partners, and we focus on helping businesses in their transformation journey, evolve that transformation journey, understanding their digital consumer, understanding how they can optimize their digital consumers' experience, and ultimately making revenue off that digital consumer. And it's as black and white as that. Whether you're in Web 2 or Web 3, we're here in those kind of scenarios. We have consumers and we have businesses, and businesses want to create revenue off the back of that. I think there's a lot of talk going around about this evolution between Web 2 and Web 3 and where's it going to go, and should I put on this conference in the metaverse and so on and so forth. But I think we're often missing some of the fundamentals, which is like why, where are we now? Are we ready for the now? We talk about the today and the tomorrow, but many businesses, many hospitality brands are not ready for the now. They're not equipped for the now. We talk about cryptocurrency and questions like, how do I accept cryptocurrencies? It's not the question. It's not the right question. That's not the problem. The problem is how do consumers want to pay? When do they want to pay? Why do they want to pay? And you need to give them the methods and the tools, and your business and your resorts need to be equipped for that. Nobody ever woke up and said, you know what, I want to book a stay and I want to pay in cryptocurrency. No human being ever woke up and said that. Maybe they woke up and said, you know what, I kind of fancy going on a holiday, I fancy going on vacation, and now I'm going to go online and I'm going to enter my digital orbit, and we live in a digital orbit, and that's what we must remember as brands, is that consumers navigate this digital orbit on a day-to-day basis. They come through multiple digital interactions, and where we are right now is where brands and businesses need to optimize and understand consumer engagement within that digital orbit and how it's going to evolve over the next 12, 18 months, 5 years, 10 years. And there's a little bit of, when we talk about a number of these things in this topic, we can categorize them into 3 areas of why brands might want to do them. One is because they want to be first, which is fine. And if we look at the hospitality industry in particular, it was relatively late to the digital marketing space. The fact that your business exists proves that point. Why are you having did you have the ability to create a business that underpins the traditional booking.coms and hotel.coms? You shouldn't have that opportunity, you have that opportunity because the people were late to the game. So there's that kind of, how quickly can we get there? The second reason really is to experiment, yeah, and that's great, and we should experiment, and we should be honest around that. And the third reason is just for PR, yeah, and I think what we're experiencing right now is those 3 things, and I think CEOs and stakeholders of hospitality brands need to be honest around how those things fit in. So it's great, yes, do a metaverse strategy, or let's put something on Decentraland and so on, but let's be honest where it fits within our strategy.
Yeah. So, Susan, your thoughts on the metaverse. Why is there an interest from the end consumer in the metaverse when the human connection is also very important and people still want to travel in real life? How do you see the metaverse work for the hospitality sector? The 25-hour hotel is talking about having a nightclub in the metaverse called Vision. Sorry, not in the 25-hour hotel, it's the H Hotel is talking about having a nightclub in the metaverse available. And where do you see opportunities for the hotel sector? And again, coming back to what Carl just said, it doesn't necessarily mean what we think we need to do, but what is it that the customer wants? And how can the industry leverage it and jump on the bandwagon to be part of it?
Okay, well, there's so much in there, isn't there? Let me go with the bandwagon first. I'll work backwards. And let's sort of imagine a train instead of a bandwagon. And what I would just say is, get on the train. You don't need to be in the first carriage. You can be in the last carriage. You don't have to be shoveling the coal and the steam, to take the Industrial Revolution analogy, to make the train work. But get on the train, join the conversation. Why join the conversation? Because the emergence of Web3, Web3 being what the internet always wanted to be, and we could go into lots of other definitions and analogies, but I'll just say that Web3 is a reality. So whilst we can sense the future, and I really applaud building future teams or encouraging future teams, as well as respecting the reality teams of now, and indeed the past teams, because indeed you can't sense the future and be a futurist, can you, if you're not real about what's happening now, and indeed you're not a pastist. So be a pastist with some relevant facts and figures, but leave behind what doesn't work anymore. Be a reality person and be now, and then sense into the future. And if we want to create focus teams, I think that's a great thing to do on the bandwagon or on the train, but be in the conversation. Where that then can take the hospitality industry into, and where does the metaverse sort of create another market for the hospitality sector? Well, here's something that I know, being around the block here for 4 decades, as some of you know, and being in the region when it indeed had the spotlight of an emerging market, right? We've emerged, we're here, and we emerged this year in Dubai saying we actually have a Dubai Metaverse strategy, right? And we all know, those of us that have been round this block, that when Dubai and the UAE announces a strategy, it's an invitation to get on your running shoes again and go to the next line that never finishes on that road to excellence. So how can we do this as hospitality? Well, here's another interesting thing. Hospitality has long since been known as the catalyst of economic development, right? That's why the UAE focused on hospitality way back. And our first pivot point wasn't until 2003, and the World Bank's meet and the International Monetary Fund, Dubai 2003, when, who remembers that we didn't have enough hotel rooms to host the 14,000 guests, right? Here we are today with more keys than we know what to do with. And here comes the metaverse. And another emerging market, in fact, the largest emerging market that some pundits or economists are saying will ever be seen in the lifetime of those of us in this room. So hospitality has a friend, right? We can now take a market that is maturing and hold hands with one that's emerging. And again, Dubai has said, let's do that by naming, I think it's 2031, wasn't that just announced the last few days? Announcing the GMP, the gross metaverse product. 5%, please, of your GDP contribution to the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, by 2031. So how are we going to do that, Judith? What can we do? Well, here's what I think. Destination management for sure. Oh, get into the metaverse. And of course, the metaverse really is reality and what can be. And what can be is only as big as your imagination or your curiosity, John, right? Merging those two together to really give something that really gives, and we've said that today on stage, experience. So what you can be looking for if you go into a metaverse. Now, metaverse can come with a little m and a big M. You know, like Southeast London can be lowercase and uppercase south and east. So you can have lowercase metaverse and uppercase metaverse. You don't have to build your own verse, because one of the key things that we love in hospitality and destination management about the metaverse and Web3 is collaboration. But please, let's not give lip service to it anymore, like we perhaps have done in the past. And the same with data and analytics that we heard this morning. You know, we've given lip service as marketeers, and I'm a marketeer, a strategist, so I can speak from this voice, to customer relationship management for decades. Right? To the data that we hold for decades. Now let's use this, the analytics, let's use everything that's coming through to personalize something for our brand, but that reaches the right audience. And guess what again? The audience that are coming up, the millennials and Gen Z, millennials are already here, you're in the room, hello everyone, but Gen Z, who you're birthing and who are coming up, they're already in the metaverse. Gaming and gamification has driven where we are today for a decade or more. So is gaming revolutionizing Web3, or indeed is Web3 revolutionizing gaming? Who knows? And another area where so there I'm saying collaboration. You can go in with other metaverses that are being built. I think we've got some on the stage here. So if you want to know more about this, we can talk. We're all some Web3 strategists on the stage, but we're bridging Web2 to Web3. Yeah. And then I just want to finish off because, of course, I think this flow, you're probably going to lop this over there very nicely for someone to pick up, that indeed, let's talk about revenue optimization and commercial strategy, and let's look at how we can now give another measurement of ROI. And don't forget, we've got that GDP and GMP that we're aiming for now. But ROI, how about that is fed by return on engagement? You remember when we were talking just now about the power of community. So how can we measure ROE? And indeed, how about ROX, return on experience? So let's look at some other barometers as we go to ROI, but particularly as we're building brand equity and voice. And as you can hear, my voice has got a lot more to say on this, so I'm open any time to continue the conversations. Where do you think this should go now, Judith?
Thank you very much. I think now we'll maybe ask Mo to see how do we actually engage with the crypto millionaires. I don't think I have to ask you if the metaverse, crypto, and NFTs, if it's here to stay, but how do we as hotels actually engage with the crypto millionaires to come and stay with us in the metaverse? Metaverse, like we discussed before, can be used for training as well, you know, not just for hotel experiences, but how do we actually engage with the customer?
All right. Right now we have 300 million users in crypto space that they're willing to pay for the services by cryptocurrencies. And for hotels to be able to connect to those users, the best thing is that to use the crypto-supported platform, which is like Decentra BNB, that we are working and we are doing marketing to attract more users through our application to hotels and the houses. Like Airbnb is Web2, we are Web3, so we are kind of also like Airbnb. We are trying to attract more users to our platform to connect them to hosts and hotels, of course. So we are doing our best to invite all hotels, especially in Dubai and Turkey, to come on board for our application, which is signing up is free, and the commission is 3%. If they use our own token, it's out of commission. So this is amazing for hotels that they rent out their rooms and they don't have to pay any commission to anyone. And besides, if there is difficulties for them to use cryptocurrency as a payment to collect the money, so we gave them the dollar and euro option withdraw, which they can collect the money in 24 hours in their bank account with 3% commission only, which is so competitive to our, same platforms like Booking.com. This is the best way for them to connect to those who are willing to pay cryptocurrencies.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yankee.
John, do you think it's going to stay? What are the opportunities, and is it just hype, or is it going to be the future?
It's absolutely not a hype. I think it's going to fundamentally change the way we experience reality. I think augmented reality will be coming before the metaverse, and that's something to really watch. That can bring the real world into the digital world much better. The metaverse does scare me a little bit because we're already dealing with high levels of anxiousness and loneliness around the world with just having a phone. Now we're going to have people sitting inside another world and never wanting to come out of it, which is a little bit scary. I think we have to do a lot of work emotionally and consciously to not get trapped into that sort of space. But it's a very exciting space. I think we're still very much in early days. Nobody really knows what's working, what's not working. NFT billionaires are now NFT thousanders, because that's lost a lot of its value. And so we're going to see a lot of ups and downs still. My biggest suggestion to everybody is stop looking for a solution and start building a system and a team that deals with whatever the future brings.
Yeah.
And so that you don't have to always be looking for that addiction to certainty of what is our metaverse strategy. Is there's a team that deals with whatever's bubbling up so that you can always be on the cutting edge of it and incorporate the technologies that are useful to your clients and not having to have somebody sitting at a bar in your hotel with a pair of VR glasses. God forbid. That's what I think.
No, very good. And that's why we need the Tomorrow team. Roel, in regards to NFTs, when do you think I'll be able to see an NFT as a room amenity or as a branded amenity with any of the airlines, hospitality sector as a collectible?
I think very soon. It's already happening. But I think I want to jump on what John said. In the end, it's not about let's create an NFT or do something with the metaverse. It's all going back to what is your purpose as an organization? What are the goals that you have? What is your brand strategy? And based on that, you can use the technology to come up with new revenue models or to create new experience for hotel visitors or new sorts of engagement. And a lot of times when people speak about metaverse or NFTs or blockchain, they focus on external processes. But I can give you an example of a hotel group we're working with where we focus on internal processes that also benefit externally. So for instance, supply chain and traceability. Now we can use blockchain technology to have the whole supply chain and traceability of products on the blockchain where it's registered, where it's immutable, so you don't have human errors. And you, for instance, can get transparency from a product that moves from farm to fork, because more and more hotel visitors or hotel guests want to know what are they eating, where is it coming from. So I think it's more on the process side, look at the purpose of the company and then come up with solutions that fit with the overall brand and not create an NFT because of PR reasons.
No, very good. And Carl, from your side, in terms of technology, the web and the online, what are your final words for the audience?
Yeah, I think the two panelists here have just said it very well, is that really we need to focus on what are the problems and then use technology where appropriate, whether that be Web 2 technology, whether it be Web 2.1, 2.5, 3 technology, to find a solution, if that may be. And I think that's where success will come from. That's where revenue will come from, that's where consumer engagement will come from, that's where the optimal consumer experience will come from. And it's when businesses recognize that we must first of all identify consumer problems in the digital space, that's where I think we'll see really interesting things. And maybe there'll be things that kind of emerge from the metaverse that will address these things. And I can think of examples very good, but around how do we potentially use some of this immersive technology in the hiring process when we've got to bring 5,000 people from the Maldives to understand how the resort works, how we measure footfall, how we understand mining activities and so on. Like, so there's genuine problems that are out there that are either consumer-facing problems or business problems, and the whole stream of digital technology can work to look at solving those.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you very much.